Good morning, Internet. This is Poser P back again for another video tutorial. This is part 2 of the series that I'm doing on how to set up VA synth sound. So we're going to do it just like we did yesterday. We're going to start from powering on the machine. In fact, I'm going to reprogram the patch I did from yesterday while I'm talking here at the very beginning, just to kind of show you that, once you know what you're doing, it's actually doesn't take very long to get stuff set up and to get things going. So wait for my PC3 to boot up. Now what I want to show today is I want to show you how to set up various modulations. So for instance, for this one I'm going to do an LFO, and the LFO amount will be controlled by aftertouch, but I want to be able to turn it on and off. So I'm going to assign the SW button to turn the LFO on and off, and I'm going to assign aftertouch to control the depth of it. Then I'm also going to use the modulation wheel to control the speed of the LFO, and I'm going to make it so that I can, or I'm going to assign the LFO to the filter cutoff frequency. So that's I think that should show you a lot of the concepts that are involved with setting up modulation on the PC3. So first of all, let me go in here. Let's see here. We used algorithm 6, so I'm going to do that. Let's find our saw wave. There's right here. Let's find our low pass filter. There it is. Okay. DSP control page. Now, one of the things I want to do also is most classic synth sounds don't actually have any velocity tracking, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Alright, cool. So we're good there. Go to the mod page. Let's see, we had data over here, and we had the depth set to that, and here we had 12 decibels, and this was slider 2. Okay. Yep, there it is. Okay, let's go to the AUG page, or to the envelope control page again, and this was okay. So let me do the sliders, get all of our sliders assigned, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Yeah, that's right. Let's see, this was actually it was 24. We just hit a high number. One of the cool things is this will automatically just jump to whatever the maximum value is. So you can punch in like 9999 and it'll jump immediately to its maximum value. Okay, so there we go. This is pretty much our sound from yesterday, minus velocity tracking. Oh, I think I forgot one other thing. Let me just double check. Yeah, I want to make sure that this is set to 100 cents per key. Okay, so there we are. And just a couple of minutes, I set up this sound. So what I want to do today then, now say I've got a lead sound, and I'm not really much of a keyboard player, but let's say I've got a lead sound, and I got my big part coming up, big solo, and I want to be able to have this, this nice LFO that can be added to the filter frequency, or the filter cutoff frequency, which is different than most people would put it to pitch, but I'm going to put it to cutoff frequency just because that's something that I prefer. So in order to prepare for our big solo, we got to set this up. So let's do that. Let's see, the first thing that I want to do is I want to go back here to the DSP mod page. Okay, we're going to use source 2 as our source for modulation. Now we're going to have to do a couple of different things here in order to set this up. Now we want to have the switch control whether to turn the LFO on or off. In order to do that, we're going to have to go and use a fun. So this will be your introduction to the fun page. The fun page really is very fun, and it's actually really easy to use. So first I'm going to hold the enter button and hit switch. So this is going to be my on-off switch. Now to make an on-off switch, the best or the easiest way to do it with the fun is to do A times B. So when it's off, A is 0. So you multiply anything by 0, you get 0. When A is on, it's 1. You multiply anything by 1, that's basically you get the whatever the value happens to be. So I'm going to do that times aftertouch. Now if I hit enter and I press on a key, there it goes, it'll give me mpress. So I can immediately select aftertouch. So now, turning it on, aftertouch will affect things, turning off, aftertouch won't. Now this function isn't assigned to anything yet, okay? I've just created it as something that I can use as a control source. So I have to actually assign it to act on something. The thing I want it to act on is I want it to act on the LFO. But before I can do that, let's see here. I have to remember where the LFO thing is. There it is. I have to set up an LFO. Okay, so now remember I want to use my mod wheel to control the rate. So let's go ahead and set that up. Now right now my min rate is 0, my max rate is 0. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all the way up to 24. So that's 24 hertz or 24 times per second. So it goes from 0 to 24. Shape, I'm going to go ahead and pick a simple shape. Let's go with plus triangle. There we go. So what that means is the PC3 scales everything between -1 and 1 in value. So a triangle goes from -1 up to 1, then down to -1 again. A plus triangle starts at 0 and goes up to 1 and then back down to 0. And for now you don't really need to understand why you would want to have it both ways, but because we're just going to assign it to the simple parameter here, and we're going to do it on the DSP mod page. So I'm going to come in here now. First of all, the LFO is going to be my source. Okay, that's the thing that's going to control the cutoff frequency. So in order to do that, I'm going to hit 114 on the number pad, and that corresponds to LFO1. All of the control sources actually have a numeric code that you can punch in order to call them up quickly. So, you know, there are some things like LFOs and envelopes that you can't just, you know, I can't twiddle the LFO in order to, you know, hold the enter button and twiddle the LFO to assign it. So I can either scroll or I can just type in a number. Next thing I want is I want function 1 to be my depth control. Okay, so I'm going to assign that right here by hitting 112. That corresponds to fun 1. Okay, now I want a depth. We're going to say min depth is 0, so it will return to the base pitch, and then the max depth we're going to set to something like, oh, let's go, let's just go all out here and go like 4,800 cents. There we go. Can you hear that? Okay. So now, if I don't apply any aftertouch, I don't have any effect. As I hold down the aftertouch, you can hear it click in there, and you can hear it get deeper as I press harder on the key. There we go. Yeah, that's more fun because now we have some resonance in there. Okay, so that's how you set up modulation, and that's pretty much works the same way no matter what you're trying to do. You can use any control source to control to be the depth control for anything else when you're using source 2, and it's really very flexible. You don't use up control sources, by the way. I could assign this function in this layer to control anything, or in this program. And I could have it controlling 100 parameters or 1 parameter, it doesn't matter. You don't ever use these things up, which is really great. So that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time.